They laughed at him. They called him crazy. They dismissed him as just another homeless black man who didn't belong. But on one cold evening in the industrial district, when a billionaire's $4.3 million hypercar broke, down in front of a crowd, that invisible man stepped forward. And in the next hour, everything society thought it knew about race, class, and genius would collapse. Because the man they tried to erase was about to prove that brilliance cannot be silenced, and that justice means rewriting the system that wasted him in the first place. The evening air carried the sharp tang of burning oil. A silver hypercar, one of only 17 ever made, limped to a stop in front of an abandoned warehouse, its exhaust coughing like a wounded animal. Its owner, Victor Langston, billionaire, tech mogul and founder of Titan Microsystems, jumped out in fury. Smoke curled from the hood of his crown jewel, the Nova Helix. As the crowd gathered, phones lifted high to capture the billionaire stranded. A man in ragged clothes stepped forward. His beard was untrimmed, his jacket torn at the sleeve, a battered canvas bag slung over one shoulder. People scoffed. "A homeless man? Here?" But his eyes, sharp, calculating, locked on the engine. "I can fix it," he said quietly. Victor turned, incredulous. "Don't touch my car." His voice was sharp, dismissive, not even meeting the stranger's eyes. But the man didn't flinch. His name was Malik Johnson. Once he had held 3 engineering degrees, 7 patents, and had designed aerospace cooling systems still used in spacecraft today. But tonight, the world only saw rags. What they didn't see, what Victor didn't see, was that Malik already knew this car's flaw before it even pulled up. Malik hadn't always lived under bridges. Just 3 years earlier, he had been celebrated as a rising star in thermodynamics. His designs had saved pilots' lives in experimental jets. He had stood on stages with aerospace giants. His resume gleamed with MIT credentials. His future seemed brighter than any billionaire's, but then came the failure. A prototype engine crashed. Malik had warned them. He had documented the flaw, begged executives to delay. But greed and deadlines drowned out his voice. When disaster struck, someone had to take the fall, and Malik was perfect. Young, outspoken, and worst of all, a black engineer in a white boardroom. The whispers spread fast, reckless, incompetent, not reliable. One executive smirked. "He's not a cultural fit." A recruiter muttered under his breath, "You people don't blend in here." Those words cut deeper than the firing papers. Soon, Malik's brilliance became invisible. Resume unread. Interviews cold. Rent went unpaid. Friends vanished. Shelters became home. But Malik refused to let his mind rot. He scavenged discarded tech journals from recycling bins. He sat in libraries, devouring knowledge while the world tried to erase him. So when he heard the sputter of the Nova Helix that night, he knew instantly. The cough in its rhythm was the exact fracture he had once documented in a classified report. Memo XT447. "Step back from the vehicle," Victor ordered, waving Malik away as the crowd chuckled. "Sir," Malik said evenly, "your thrust cooling system has a micro-fracture in the secondary loop. I can fix it in 20 minutes. Victor's lip curled. His eyes swept Malik's ragged clothes. He smirked. "And how would you know anything about a Nova Helix? This is proprietary tech. Even most mechanics can't service it." "Because," Malik replied firmly, "I designed the prototype it's based on." Laughter erupted from the crowd. A billionaire's hypercar? Saved by a homeless man? Impossible. For a moment, Malik's chest tightened. The weight of every rejection pressed down like chains. "Why bother?" whispered doubt. But another thought surfaced, sharper than steel. "You didn't survive all this to stay invisible." Memo XT447 predicted this fracture. Malik said. I wrote it. Victor froze. He knew that memo. It was never public. A sleek black SUV rolled up. 2 private guards stepped out, towering, suspicious. Is there a problem, Mr. Langston? One asked, glaring at Malik as if he were dirt. This man thinks he knows how to fix my car, Victor said coldly. I don't think, Malik corrected. I know. And you have less than 40 minutes before the engine seizes. You'll be out $900,000 in parts alone. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The number was too precise, too real. Victor hesitated. His arrogance cracked. What exactly would you need? He asked. Your emergency kit, and 10 minutes without interruption. Before Victor could answer, another man shoved through the crowd. David Reynolds, head of security for a rival firm, sneered, You can't let him near this car. Look at him. He's homeless. He's probably trying to sabotage you. Victor's doubts deepened. Cameras were rolling. His empire thrived on image. Could he risk humiliation? But Malik's voice cut through, steady and unshaken. Call Dr. Eleanor Chen, Orion Aerospace. Tell her Malik Johnson is here. Victor's fingers shook as he dialed. Moments later, her voice came through the speaker. Malik Johnson? You found him? Victor, do you realize who you're standing with? He's the most brilliant engineer I've ever worked with. If he says he can fix it, let him fix it. The crowd gasped again. Even the guards stepped back. Victor stared at Malik, suddenly uncertain of everything. Malik bent over the engine. The crowd's phones lit the night, blue light reflecting across his skin. Sweat dripped onto the polished silver frame, hissing faintly on the hot metal. From the emergency kit, he pulled sealant tubes, clamps, tubing. His hands, calloused from the street yet precise as a surgeon's, moved with calm mastery. I need graphite pencils. Stettler Mars, 8B. The store across the street sells them. The guards sprinted. Minutes dragged, the crowd whispered. Some jeered, He's stalling! Others leaned forward, holding their breath. The guard returned, breathless. Malik stripped the graphite, ground it down, mixed it into the sealant. The compound shimmered under the streetlights. Victor muttered, You're fixing my $4.3 million car? With pencil lead? Yes, Malik said without looking up. His voice was sharp as steel. Real engineering isn't about million-dollar labs. It's about solving problems with whatever's in your hands. The diagnostic timer blinked. 15 minutes to failure. 10, 8, 5. Malik sealed the fracture, flushed the coolant, reprimed the system. He stood back. Start it. Victor hesitated. Start it. The ignition clicked. The engine purred to life. Smooth. Powerful. Perfect. Diagnostics blinked. System stabilized. Performance limited to 70%. Service recommended. The crowd erupted in cheers. Strangers clapped Malik on the back, and from the front row, a little girl's voice rose above the noise. Fixed it. Innocence had recognized genius before prejudice could deny it. Victor stared at the display. That's impossible. The manufacturer swore this could only be done in a controlled lab. They overcomplicate to protect their monopoly, Malik replied. It's simple, if you know the principles, for the first time. Victor extended his hand. Thank you. You're welcome, Malik said simply, though his eyes carried the weight of years of dismissal, but Victor wasn't finished. His curiosity and conscience were awake. I want to know more, he said. Come with me. To my office. To my investor meeting. I think you can help. Malik hesitated. I'm not exactly dressed for investors. Victor smiled faintly. Then let's fix that too. 30 minutes later, Malik emerged from a Fifth Avenue tailor in a charcoal suit, his beard trimmed, his hair styled. For the first time in years, he looked in the mirror and saw the man he used to be. At Titan Microsystems headquarters, The boardroom buzzed with investors. Polished shoes clicked against marble floors. Laughter died when Malik entered beside Victor. Victor introduced him. "Ladies and gentlemen, meet Malik Johnson, the man who just saved my Nova Helix with nothing but sealant and pencil graphite. He is also the inventor of the very cooling system your money depends on." The room buzzed. Some leaned back, arms crossed. One whispered, "A homeless man?" Malik listened as the CTO presented their new quantum cooling system. When asked for feedback, he spoke. For exactly 7 minutes. He identified 3 critical flaws, offered elegant fixes, sketched a modification that boosted efficiency by 34% while cutting costs. At first, investors frowned. One snapped, "We've sunk millions into this design. Are you suggesting we scrap it because of your back of the napkin math?" Malik didn't flinch. "Not scrap it. Refine it. Your design is strong, but it's bleeding efficiency here, here, and here." He circled the blueprint. "If you implement my modifications, you'll save $12 million annually in energy costs alone." At first, faces hardened. Skeptical, arms folded. But as he sketched fluid pathways, recalculated tolerances, voices softened. Pens scribbled furiously. By the end, every investor had doubled their commitment. Afterward, Victor closed the boardroom door. "Extraordinary," he said. "I want you on my team. Director of Engineering. Name your price." Malik shook his head. "This isn't just about me." From his canvas bag, he pulled folded scraps of paper, patent sketches drawn on discarded newspapers. "These are mine. But in shelters, I've met doctors, programmers, engineers. Their ideas rot every night because of how they look, where they sleep, or the color of their skin." Victor leaned forward, stunned. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying we need an innovation center for the overlooked. A place where brilliance isn't wasted because of prejudice. A place that turns invisibility into visibility." Victor studied him. Slowly, he extended his hand. "Then let's build it together." And they did. The patents Malik had drafted on trash paper were worth more than Victor's hypercar. But their true worth lay in the systemic change they represented. From that night on, the world saw Malik Johnson not as a homeless black man, but as a genius wronged by a biased system. And through Victor's resources and Malik's vision, the Innovation Center for the Overlooked was born, transforming lost potential into world-changing breakthroughs. Because true justice isn't redemption for one man. True justice is rewriting the system that wasted him in the first place. This isn't just Malik's story, it's a mirror. How many brilliant minds are ignored every day because of race, class, or circumstance? If this story opened your eyes, subscribe to Hidden Black Truths. Share it, because genius has no race, brilliance has no class, and justice means making the invisible visible.